Okay, 2076, good luck. So not played before there, no head-to-head score. Opponent 113 games. Actually, it's not many games again for a new account. For an established account, it's not brand new, 10 months, but hardly any games. Had one of them earlier on, and it was a bit suspicious, so let's hope this one's alright. We had an account earlier on which was similar, which was around for a long time, but barely any games on it. Okay, we just castle. I'm just trying playing a game at a different time of day to see if we get a better fair play experience, so I'm just doing a bit of an experiment here. So I could sack a pawn here. You can take and prepare this, so it is an actual sacrifice. Do I do it? Let's do it, why not? It's just a pawn sack, just to go for development. You can try and protect the pawn, or you can just go ultra solid and just take back however you prefer. If I take, it depends obviously what black does here. We could do a straight double sack. We can develop the knight. So he plays queen across, so probably looking to take back this fashion or go here. I might want to launch down the board then. Okay, I'm going to play d4 because it tells me he wants to play h5, I think, here. So maybe bishop up. Maybe take, depends what he does. I suspect he wants to come down and then fly the pawn down. He could just be looking to trade. So he could take here. That's what he's done. So I'm going to take the pawn. I guess I'll pre-move in case he takes the bishops, but it is rapid. I don't need to pre-move. Not really. But does he spend a move taking the pawn back? He does, but he goes with a knight. So let's just immediately challenge that knight. I don't think he'll take. I think he'll probably drop back. Oh, he's played forward, so we can break the pawn structure and break symmetry here if we take. Or we can launch a pawn and try and plant one. Actually, I quite like the look of that. Just launch in the centre. Knight back, e5, and knight straight back again could be an idea. Let's just see. I pre-moved in case he takes. You can see there's a different colour on the squares. Yeah, I don't normally play rapid chess late in the day. It's late in the day for me, so I'm just doing a bit of an experiment to see if it's a better fair play experience. But it is just a one-off game, so obviously I need many games to really compare, I suppose. Yeah, the knight has gone back. That's what I kind of thought. So pawn up and the knight will come back again, but we've got a couple of development moves then. Or we could play bishop up, takes, then up. The bishop can go back. Then we get the knight in, but are we actually gaining anything? I'm not sure we are. But it's still a development move. And if bishop up, we can maybe push forward. Knight in takes, knight across castles, knight in. But again, there's no actual knockout blow, is there? I like it as a structure though, as a concept, just take here. I'm wondering if he comes in, can I actually take the knight? Right, so gain a knight, lose a bishop. Gain a bishop, lose a knight either way, then queen up. That looks alright actually, I'm going to go that way. Now he might take the knight, but then I can take and he can't castle. But here, this way around, I might get an extra development move in. I think he'd probably take this way, but it gives us a potential pawn. He has taken. Now, I don't think there's any trick with the knight. I don't think there's any point doing this and opening his structure up. So I'm going to take, but I'm going to try and develop the queen, depending on what he does. But this way gives me a potential rook move, or the knight could get a development move. This way we can maybe just immediately push the pawn. Now, is that an issue for black, or is black actually better there if I do that? Let's just worry about it when it's our move. Now, he has gone that way, so queen up was the move I was looking at because you can't castle. And you might spend a move doing this. Now we can go here and it gives you a development move. Pawn up. You can move the queen or you can push. Pawn up, you can do the same thing. It's a natural development move, but so is queen up here. Now queen up, say you guard. queen here. It's a very nice natural move in it. I'm going to do it just to pressure the pawns because you can't castle at least in one move. You might have to break the structure. I've still got rook across here, but like I say, it does give a natural development move to black as well, and it's not easy to attack quickly, and there is a weakness here. So this structure could easily collapse, easily. So say queen up, rook across, knight up. That's what you'd expect. Takes, you'd have to go with a pawn, but he can go with a pawn. So here, knight up, pawn up. Maybe you can just get away with taking. Maybe you can. So do I be silly and chuck a pawn forward here? Take. I think it's too bold for my liking because this pawn is weak. But I'm looking at f4, f5. So f4, knight up, rook across. I'm just trying to play f5, and if takes, e6. Actually, I'm going to do it, why not? Let's play f4. I mean, my king is really hopelessly positioned now because of that one move. So he comes forward, but I don't have to move the knight there. It's not an immediate threat. So I think I can just ignore that and push on here. But has he got an extra knockout blow? Because if I play f5 and you take, I can still push my pawn on. And if you move out the way, I've got knight takes pawn. I like f5 here. If he takes, I just take the rook. But if the queen moves, it's easy to miss that the pawn is hanging. Knight takes would be a move. Here, I can just take with the pawn as well. Same thing. If you take, you still can't take the knight. You could castle now, I guess. Yeah, he does that. But can't I just push the pawn on now and just smash the defense? What do you do to this? Even if you take the knight, there's a mate threat. So here. If you take here. Yeah, I've got nothing, have I? I'm going to play f6. Because if you take here, I'm just going to take with a queen and create a checkmate threat. Pawn up, queen up. And I think that's over. So I don't think you can take the knight this move. If this pawn moves, I take. So I'm threatening to take, king takes, and then maybe drop the knight around the angles or get the rook up. Whether it's actually a knockout is another matter. Knight up, I think I can spend a move and try and defend. And just not collapse my own pawn structure. I guess I could take first, but... let's just see what he does. But rook across I'm probably going to have to play to try and guard this pawn. At least just temporarily, just so my own defense isn't completely collapsed in a heap. Get the cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips there. I don't think you can take the knight, but like I say, any game in any chess position, you can always be miscalculating something or missing something. But if he takes, I think just queen takes back. And it's hard to see how you defend the checkmate threat. Oh, he's just resigned. He's just had enough of the game. He just resigned. Okay, let's put that through the analyzer then and see whether there is a defense there, because I don't think it's actually game over yet. Even if I get to take here and I get my knight back, I don't think it's quite game over. Maybe I just move the knight out the way, rook up and rook across. Maybe it is, but let's put it through the engine and see what it was in engine speak and see if there is something there. So it's only 18 moves. They're the move times for both players. So let's just request an analysis. And then we just want to see... Oh wait, I wanted to go at the last position there. Yeah, we played a really good game, haven't we? We played a really good game. What are the figures? 93% versus 77% accuracy. And there's just one blunder thrown in, which is h6. So we've just built a gradual advantage out of the opening. Let's just flick through it from the start then. Just looking at this general eval, you can just about see it on the bottom there on the graph. So I should have actually taken here. That's a scary position though. Take with a knight coming in. I know the knight guards, but then the pawn flies down and we're facing the same sort of issue in reverse. Maybe you just throw a knight up and kick the queen back. But we should have actually taken the bishop there. Oh, actually, no, this is, yeah, that's right, yeah. Black should have taken our knight, and then on the next move, we should have taken. I'm just mixing myself up with which of these I'm looking at. So it was okay to take the pawn. Knight takes, e4 in the center. The knight goes to d5 rather than coming here, so it must be maybe just knight back to kick the queen back. There must be a defense there for us. Okay, so let's just move on. I'm just trying to complete development here, so you should have taken the knight instead of dropping back. So we pushed a bishop and a pawn on. And here, should have taken the knight instead of the bishop, but didn't. And here, the queen move, which really just stops black from castling because it's a checkmate threat. And I should have actually just taken the pawn here. Ooh, that's again a slightly scary move to do, because once the king moves out the way, you can't then move your knight to break the pin. So f4 was actually a mistake, but that's a blunder with h6, allowing us to push on, and you should be taking here and allowing e6. So the engine says, yeah, you've got to allow this castle and take the queen. You've got to castle and give up your queen. Wow. So in this position, you've actually got to castle and give the queen up, because once the pawns go over, the rooks are getting active as well. Well, that's something to have to do, isn't it? What sort of a move is that? Knight to h7? Oh, because if you take back and you hit the knight, but if the rook moves, how do you get back? Maybe you don't worry about it, but that's a really, really odd move, and it computers play some really weird chess. But that's what the engine line actually was, yeah. But we played it pretty decently for our level there, but it was just one move blunder. It's all it was that really settled the game, so it is what it is.